Alright, this one here is going to be kind of my final conclusion on the GF12P after I did some work on it, tried to solve the issues with it, honed the barrel, kind of clean it out, and I took it out. There's a video that I just put up the other day where I'm shooting this, and actually it patterned well with that cheap Gforce ammo, and I'm going to do a video about these off-the-wall brand shotgun shells. That's going to be in a separate video. So I went out, successful day. I thought my problems with this thing here was done, and after, and on the range it was working fine. It would drop down, or I'd just give this a twist and it would pop out. But I come home, I took the barrel off, cleaned it out, and when I cleaned it out, I did notice, you got your standard residue and you got that weird stuff. That's plastic fouling is what that is. And what I had to do, when I honed it, this barrel was shining like a mirror. I ran a bronze brush through there, but it might be a little worn out. It got most of it out, but like a bronze brush or a tornado brush, a little bit of scrubbing with some solvent, then you put a mop with just a patch in there, and this barrel's good. So I believe that's the ammo. Now when I painted the little dot on the sight, that did help, but I had to acquire sight pictures a little bit different, so I did get it. Once I figured out where my point of aim should be and how to hold the sight, this thing shot really good. Okay, really did a good job. Now, as for the action, when I put those screws in and tighten that receiver, this nonsense kind of stopped. Now it hasn't. So what my big problem is with this, and if you fire that, it'll drop down and pick the shell up. But for me, okay, how I keep a gun loaded and ready is I would take the shell, it's a dummy shell, I'd fill the magazine 4 rounds, and I'd leave this loose. So if I heard something, I'd pick the gun up, there isn't a round in the chamber. And then if there was a threat or something, I would cock the gun, cycle the action, get ready to shoot. And if you do this now, you would go click, nothing, because now the lifter is down and the next round would load up. It would misload. Okay, the round. So this thing is not functioning correctly. Okay, there's a chance for this to misfeed with that lift lever up. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, as a defense shotgun, and I tried everything. I went back. See now, like here, if you just give it a twist, it'll pop back. Okay, that's, for me, that ain't good enough. I'd have to load it and make sure it comes down. Kind of a deal breaker, and yes, these screws, they weren't terribly loose. I fired, say, 45 rounds out of their 20, 30, 40, 45, 48 rounds. Say I fired 50 rounds. I still could tweak them. And like I said, after I cleaned the barrel, the damn thing, yesterday, or when I fixed it and tightened these down initially, that lift lever worked fine. It would just drop back like it's supposed to. Now it ain't doing it unless you twist it. And that's what happened. I was out there shooting, I'd load it, and you'll see where I give this a twist and it drops down. But before I retightened the bolts, it wouldn't do that. Okay, it did that after I tightened down on the bolts again. So, as far as I'm concerned, $100 or not, that I don't like. I don't like the fact that I could, you know, misload, misfeed. I know a lot of people love these guns, $100, say they ain't got a lick of trouble with them. But like you've seen in the series, some of these guns have these quirks. This one was goofed up from the factory with the magazine and a tube and everything, where they glued they Loctited the damn cap, the end cap of the magazine to the tube. I had to punch it loose and get a replacement one. So even for $100, okay, there was $10, $12 for that piece. I got a Mossberg piece, and even then it just ain't quite right. And I cleaned the tube out. I cleaned the residue in that out. I had to spend $30 for them screws. So, you know, like I said, $100, then with the shipping, transfer fees, $150, now $180. Now we're up $200, and I still got a gun that doesn't work quite right. I wouldn't bet my life with this gun. Okay, going out and just shooting it at the range and screwing around and knowing that it might misfeed or something, yeah, okay, something like that. But not in a situation where I need 100% liability, where something happens in the middle of the night, I'm not quite awake and I have to get a hold of a weapon to, you know, defend myself, not in a 100% state. Unfortunately, I have to pass on it. I have to say, you know, I don't like that. But after honing the barrel out, the gun patterned a lot better. Other than that, it does function fairly well. I mean, I double pumped and threw a live round out, and I had one shell hang up and not get thrown clear of the gun out of the 50 rounds. Okay, and that's, like I said, I'm going to do a video on the ammunition. A lot of that has to do with the quality of the ammunition. But, like I said, this little problem there that shouldn't be there, it's a quality control issue. I believe it has something, this frame is either bent or something's out of whack, because that stopped doing that when I clamp these screws down and put pressure on the receiver. So the receiver has an issue, a slight one, but has an issue of some sort. Because once you tighten down, and you've seen it in the video, it drops past that spring. That's what's holding it back and binding. So, you know, like I said, I would go with a Mossberg 500. Okay, if this was the only weapon you were having and you really needed it for defense, I would go with, there's much better shotguns that cost, you know, it might cost double or more, but if you're only getting one gun, go with quality, okay? Because like I said, it's not a lottery thing. Sometimes you get one that works, sometimes you get one that doesn't. I mean, the price and everything is great, and if this thing functioned flawlessly without me worrying about it, I would tell you that it was a great deal. But they vary so much, okay, from gun to gun. You know, that's up to you. But that's my opinion on it, guys. And hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned.